something happened yesterday that I wanted to share with you in terms of the belief level, in terms of acting, creating your reality by acting, by believing in it. I had a couple started planning with me from September of last year. Um, yeah, they were coming and visiting a bunch of islands here in the area. They were visiting Saipan, Guam, Tinian, and a couple of others. So I arranged tours for them for Saipan and then Tinian, which is a neighbor island just about 3 miles south of here, and then for another island, Guam, where I don't live, but I know I've developed now relationships with at least two people over there who give tours. Okay, so yesterday we were supposed to go to Tinian, and we needed a car once we got there, and there are no cars because they I didn't realize this, but they happened to have chosen the day for their trip the same day that there's this big festival on Tinian. Now Tinian isn't a big island. It only has about 2,000 people on it. So once all the rent a cars, about a dozen, once all those get taken, there's no more cars. But so a few days leading up to that, there was no car, and I was realizing that these two people are flying all the way from the U.S. They're flying all over the Pacific region. They're going from island to island. They're coming here. They're now on Saipan, and tomorrow morning I need to give them a tour on Tinian, and I don't have a car to drive them around the island. But I didn't tell them. I'm doing stuff behind the scenes to see if I can get someone to lend me their car. I'm seeing if the car rental agencies, even if the girls who work there can lend me their car. I'm putting a call out on Facebook to anyone who knows someone in Tinian who could lend me their car. I'm willing to pay for it. And all through the week, nothing is happening. People are asking. No one is. Some people said yes, and then they changed their minds because they realized their insurance was canceled. So it was just up to the morning we were supposed to leave. I still had no car, but I did not tell them, and I didn't cancel the trip because in my mind, I was going through this all night. I am confident that something will work out. I am confident that once I get to the island, even if I need to beg the checkout clerk at the ticket window to buy her, I am going to find a way to get a vehicle to drive them around. Now, if you ever see Tinian, you'll realize how crazy that idea was, because again, it's a small island, it's not a lot of people on it. So once the cars are people are using their cars to go to this special event on Saturday. But anyway, my whole point is, at the very last minute, 8 minutes before I was leaving my apartment to go to the hotel to pick up the customers, the car rental agency calls, sends me an email and says, "Hey, we just got a car for you." Because some guy from the military who was coming, his flight is delayed, so we're gonna, give you his car. So because he's coming in later. Now they didn't have to give me that car because I know there were other people ahead of me on the waiting list. But whether it was just the good karma that I developed with them over the years, or the fact that I was persistent and let them know that I'm still coming to Tinian whether I have a car or not, or it's just my belief. I was doing a whole bunch of things. I was going through saying to myself, the universe is perfect. This is it's not going to work out that these people come all the way here and not go to Tinian. So I was doing my Nam Myoho Renge Kyo chant. I was doing my doing the universe is perfect mantra. I was I was visualizing what I would do once I landed. If I had to talk to one of the guys who worked on the ramp at the airport and tell them who I am and see if I can bribe them $100 to lend me their car. So I had all these sorts of plan Bs worked out, but at no point did I think I was willing to go up to the fly to Tinian. And if at that point I still couldn't get a car, then I would reveal to the customers, here's what's going on. But in my mind, I had there was a little doubt, but I had more than 80% confidence that I would make something happen. Doubt in the sense of doubt and say, okay, maybe it's not doubt. Maybe it's I knew how I would explain it to them. So it's not doubt, but I guess I know, look, if it just doesn't work out, if with all of my planning and all of my charm and wit and personality and persuasiveness, and even with this $100 I'm willing to use to bribe someone to lend me their car. If all of that still doesn't work out, then obviously it's just meant to be that way. And this is what I'll explain to them, at the airport. And they'll have to forgive me. If I need to, I'll refund their money for the Tinian trip. And, so none of this stuff carries a death penalty. There's always, at the very least, the worst comes to worst, it's just a matter of, hey, look, this is what happened. All of the cars are gone. I tried this, it just couldn't work. It doesn't look like we'll be able to go. But I didn't really entertain that whole conversation in my mind either.
Right. It was just a thought.
Yeah. It was just a.
It sounds as though it was more like a landing pad. I mean, if you're gonna fly, you gotta have a place to land at some point.
Right.
It sounds like you were just creating something to land just in. I mean,
yes.
Eventually, just in case.
Yeah, I like that. The landing pad. Yes, exactly. So, I never entertained it. I just knew where it was. I knew where the landing pad was if I needed it. But I never entertained that conversation. The conversation I entertained in my mind all night was explaining to them how we almost didn't get this tour. So even in my rehearsing, I was practicing telling them, oh, phew, man, you don't know what just happened. Let me tell you how, So in my mind, I was even practicing a positive outcome.
Right.
Now
That's an awesome story.
Yeah, that's happened to me enough times over the years that I've come to expect it. And that's something you had said earlier, that you do it, you practice that reality over and over again till it starts to become the reality. The skill that I've learned then that helps with that, like I think a normal person, if they had 2 paying customers expecting a car on Tinian, and they didn't have a car the night before, I think maybe the average person would have said, hey, look, I have some bad news for you. I know you wanted to go to Tinian, but I couldn't get a car. We have to cancel the trip.
Right.
I think a normal person would have done that. But the only way, if you're about to travel to Tinian and you don't have a car, the only way you're going to get a car on Tinian is to get to Tinian. That's the way I look at it. If you cancel the trip, you've decided what the outcome is going to be.
Exactly.
If you take the trip, then you leave the universe a little extra time. So one of the things that I think I've gotten better at is not chickening out at the last minute.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
It's like a game of dare, I guess. A game of chicken with the universe.